Hello and welcome back to this edition of Daily Actis brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I am Dustin and we are going to be looking at the most active stocks on Yahoo Finance as of today. Let's go ahead and refresh and see what we got. Today is a new day in the market and let's look at the most actives. Ooh, Tesla is at the top of 21%. Let's go ahead and type in Tesla right here. Let me go back and look at my old model here. If you've never watched any of my videos, I get all of my data from Google Finance. I have built myself a model just here inside of Google Finance. One of the reasons why I do not like this model is because Google Finance data is absolutely trash. So what I'm actually doing is I'm trying to build my own model, the same model, and the most important pieces inside of a Google Chrome extension. You'll see me bring that up sometimes. See, this is the problem. Like, you got too much data, then not enough data, too much data, then not enough data. You never know what's going to happen. See, now we've got the right amount of data. And you can see that even though I thought that I was not going to get all of today's data, it looks like I am getting only I'm already getting all of today's data, so I gotta go back to 46. Gonna do this, and this is what's nice. This is why I do my videos this way, because not only do I want to show off, I want to be able to teach, and I want people to be able to see how easy it is to be able to get access to data for free inside of Google Finance, especially inside of Google Sheets. Now, if we look at the overall trend here, one of the things I'm going to talk about that I think is kind of remarkable, and if you notice, is that you see the coloring here on the price. When you have that blue lettering with the white background, as you had on the 11th of October here, that means that it was three standard deviations below the 23-day moving average. When you see that the price was below this, that's the 5-day moving average, that's the 23-day moving average, and that day, specifically on the 11th, it was 142 million shares traded. Now, the reason why you see a volume spike right here is because that is a 10-day moving average, and the volume of that day was above the 10 previous days average, which obviously 142 million is higher than any of these previous ones, since none of those are over 100 million. And then as of today, you can see, which is brought to you here most likely, is we are seeing a massive spike inside of Tesla as it had traded over 200 million shares and went from $2 or $213 yesterday to $260 today. As that's better known, that is a 21% move in one single day. It was 21% day over day. It's now 17.9% over the past 5 days. It's 8.5% or eight and a quarter over the past 15, and up only 2.5% over the past 1 month. Now, if we're looking at overall what we expect here, obviously what we're seeing is a humongous breakout in volatility. And you see that in the price here, but the place that I would have recognized it would have been here when I'm looking at my own volatility breakout. We're going to get to this in a little bit in the later, but you can see the volatility has been breaking out ever since it looks like the 18th of October, which we would see right here. That is why that is indicated with that extremely ugly turquoise blue. Now we can see we flipped from a price to fall to a price to rise. No shit, Sherlock. What we're looking at here on the Tesla signals, we still have these go short signals from that previous bearish movement. But what I expect is that we're going to see this turn to go long. We're going to see these this bearishness, and this bearishness continue to flip to a go long or a bullishness. And then what I expect here is that when we see on what was the trend of the rolling sentiment, we were falling incredibly badly. Today we are now at 36, but tomorrow we're going to be at 48. That is because it takes a while to turn around the Titanic, and the type of price movement we had been seeing in Tesla was incredibly ugly. It was incredibly onerous. It was very, very bearish. Now, if we look at what we've seen today, we're getting a bunch of these these buy signals. We only have two as of today. We will have more as of tomorrow. But you can see over the past few days here leading up into this week, you can see there's the whole calendar. We can see all of these bearish signals that we have been seeing ever since the third. It looks like the fourth, the seventh, the eighth. We saw some coming, falling bear. We had some sell signals. We had some big bears, small bears. We even had a 1 month bear trigger, which to be honest is something that's quite a concern. Now, if we're going to go ahead and look, don't worry about that just yet. We're going to go ahead and look at the chart. Obviously, we can see we have still not broken out to an all-time high though, or a high relative to what we've seen. We did not break above the 271. It looks like today it only had a high of 262. So we would want to see that continuation in Tesla in terms of the way that the price continues to move. Now, if we are looking at this daily sentiment indicator, again, if you've looked at any of my videos previously, you can go ahead and watch any of them. This indicator generally will top out around 60% and it will bottom out around 40%. As of yesterday or leading into today, we were at 41%. Obviously, we know that this is going to snap back. I expect the green bars to be getting above this moving average relatively quickly. If we look at the volume, what a day in volume in Tesla. The one concern that I would have, if anything, is that this is not the largest day in volume. I would want to see a larger day in volume than the days we saw in July and the days we saw back in April to really truly confirm that I'm seeing a humongous move in Tesla. Now, again, we're going to bring in the volatility. You can see the red lines here. This is volatility, as we talked about before. It's rising since the 18th. The most important thing to me is what is the correlation doing? The volatility is starting to rise as the correlation starts to rise. And what I love about that is telling you that the volatility is going to pick up, and so is the price. Because right now, the price to volatility correlation is rising, and I like to see it when things are breaking out. Now, if we're looking at the overall trade range here, obviously Tesla was trading near the bottom of its range. As on the 11th, it was at 215, and and the close was at 217. The price is at 213, and now we're down at 194. But the top, I imagine, is going to break all the way out as we continue to move forward. Now, if you want to see what this looked like, if we were looking at my individual indicator that I kind of mentioned earlier, it would be here. When I look at this, it is essentially the most important parts of what is the big model that we just went through. I look at it from the perspective of I care about what the price is doing, I care about what the volume is doing, I care about the daily trend, and then I care about the trade level. And then after that, I'm looking purely at the range. The most important signals to me are going to be if I'm getting a higher high or a higher low or a lower low or a lower high. Now, you can see here back in October at the very beginning when we were at 240, these were not necessarily good signals because you had higher lows and higher highs leading into it. And then we got very bearish, went under the trade level very quickly. Now, you cannot predict when things are going to get terrible, but you can start to see some of this smattering of underneath the trend level, a little bit of bearishness, and then boom, we all of a sudden are at the bottom of the range, which you can see previously. We've seen some higher lows, some higher highs, and the price was running higher. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you long? Are you short? Do you like it? Do you love it? Is this even a good review? And before you go, subscribe to the New High newsletter. We send you 20 plus stocks every single Sunday before 9 a.m. Stocks bring up to 1 year highs, stocks bring up to all-time highs, stocks under $20. It is a great list to get your trading week started. I will talk to you soon.